In this video, I want to share with you a true story of a saint who saw hell and lived to tell the tale. This comes from the memoirs of Saint John Bosco. During this dream, he's being guided through different sections of hell by this angel who is his guide. And they get to a point where they're in the outskirts of hell. And up to this point, John Bosco has just been observing, but not experiencing any of the torments for himself. But the angel comes up to him and wants him to suffer a bit here and now. This is what happened. His guide says to him, "All right, then come with me." Encouragingly, he took my hand and held me up because I could hardly stand on my feet. Leaving that hall in no time at all, we retraced our steps through that horrible courtyard and the long corridor. But as soon as we stepped across the last bronze portal, he turned to me and said, "Now that you have seen what others suffer, you too must experience a touch of hell." "No, no," I cried. He insisted, but I kept refusing. "Do not be afraid," he told me. "Just try it. Touch this wall." I could not muster enough courage and tried to get away, but he held me back. "Try it," he insisted. Gripping my arm firmly, he pulled me to the wall. "Only one touch," he commanded, "so that you may say you have both seen and touched the walls of eternal suffering, and that you may understand what the last wall must be like, if the first is so unendurable. Look at this wall." I did intently. It seemed incredibly thick. "There are 1,000 walls between this and the real fire of hell," my guide continued. 1,000 walls encompass it, each 1,000 measures thick and equally distant from the next one. Each measure is 1,000 miles. This wall, therefore, is millions and millions of miles from hell's real fire. It is just a remote rim of hell itself. When he said this, I instinctively pulled back, but he seized my hand, forced it open, and pressed it against the first of the 1,000 walls. The sensation was so utterly excruciating that I leaped back with a scream and found myself sitting up in bed. My hand was stinging, and I kept rubbing it to ease the pain. When I got up this morning, I noticed that it was swollen. Having my hand pressed against the wall, though only a dream, felt so real that later the skin of my palm peeled off. Bear in mind that I have tried not to frighten you very much, and so I have not described these things in all their horror as I saw them and as they impressed me. We know that Our Lady always portrayed hell in symbols, because had we described it as it really is, we would not have understood them. No mortal can comprehend these things. The Lord knows them, and he reveals them to whomever he wills. So what's going on here? Well, St. Paul says in the Bible, "Eye has not seen, ear has not heard, the glories which God has prepared for those who love him." On the flip side of that, we could say that eye has not seen and ear has not heard the sufferings that the devil has prepared for those who follow him. This is important for us to get right. So many people commit mortal sin without second thought. So many people are galloping, running, sprinting headlong into hell and do not think about where they are headed. St. Alphonsus Liguori says that many people have been prevented from going to hell by simply thinking about it. Why? Because thinking about hell will scare the hell out of you and scare you out of hell, ideally. We have to understand this. We have to understand the stakes. If we're going to appreciate the salvation wrought for us on the cross by blessed Jesus, the Son of God, we have to understand what he's saving us from. And once we understand that, we go to confession, we rid ourselves of all mortal sin and all near occasion of sin. We have an infinite reason for gratitude and praise because the sufferings of hell are more intense than we can imagine and infinite. Think about it this way. Imagine somebody told you you had to lay in a nice comfy bed for a month. You would get so sick of being there. Your body would ache to be anywhere but on that bed. You would want to get up and explore and do something. Well, in hell, it's like that. You're confined to a very small area. You have no liberty, but you're not on a nice feather bed. You are in fire, in flames, suffering for all of eternity with no reprieve. If you've been struggling with bad habits, especially bad habits of lust, avarice, pride, keep in mind the reward that the devil gives to his faithful servants. And then remember the infinite mercy of God, how even now at this very moment, he is calling you to reconciliation, calling you to himself for all of eternity to reward you as his beloved son or daughter, just like the prodigal son in Luke's gospel. And then think about the infinite reward that even your smallest, almost insignificant acts done out of charity will have. You will rejoice over every single good act that you've done from the grace of God for an eternity in heaven. These are the stakes, and this is why sin makes no sense. It pleases you for a moment and then causes you pain and regret forever. So whoever you are watching this, God bless you. Go to confession, rid yourself of mortal sin today if you can. One of the saints said, never sleep with mortal sin. This is the urgency that we should have to rid ourselves of this defilement of our soul and to get back into the glorious grace of God. And if you enjoyed that video and you want to see a video explaining why the demons fear the Rosary, then click on this video next. God bless.